Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Pooh Shiesty and his court case. Now, recently, Pooh Shiesty's lawyers were in court, and one of his lawyers revealed some things about Pooh Shiesty that a lot of fans didn't know. He talked about his personal finances, and he gave a good reason on his behalf, or at least he thought was a good reason, why Pooh Shiesty could not have committed this robbery/shooting that took place at Bay Harbor Island. Now, a lot of the things that he says are based on some of the reports and revelations that we've gotten throughout this whole court case, like the dude being involved with the case, allegedly getting caught up in his own scandal, the alleged victim, of the shooting, and then Pooh Shiesty's finances also came to question. Like, he put it out there how much money Pooh Shiesty's making and how much his net worth is, and it's got fans talking. So let's talk about it. Now, before we get to the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about Pooh Shiesty's case. And let's talk about his lawyer and what he said in court, man. His lawyer basically said that Pooh Shiesty has too much money to be wrapped up in any of this, man. And he also talked about the rapper's net worth. Now, I'm be basing this off a story from allhiphop.com. And in the headline, they say this. It says, lawyer for Pooh Shiesty says rapper is too rich to have robbed man for drugs and sneaks. Now, for those of you who haven't been keeping up with Pooh Shiesty's cases, I know there's a lot of them. And the biggest one that he's got is this Bay Harbor Island shooting. Now, allegedly, Pooh Shiesty and his crew robbed two other guys and shot two other guys. And it was a botched drug deal, or a drug deal gone wrong, right? Where allegedly there were some high-end sneakers they were supposed to pick up and some drugs. Now, Pooh Shiesty was brought in for this like almost immediately. It didn't take long. They also came out with numerous stories saying that they had so much evidence against Pooh Shiesty, like talking about the bills, matched some bills that were on his Instagram page that he had been flashing, the bills that they found at the scene, and a whole lot of other things. Now, the story continues by saying this. Starts off by saying, lawyers claims that ballistic and forensic evidence proves Pooh Shiesty did not shoot a man during a 2020 drug deal gone bad. Now, basically, they're saying in quotes right there that ballistic and forensic evidence proves that Pooh Shiesty did not shoot anybody. I mean, that could help his case a lot. But, I mean, to be real, based on a lot of the reporting that's come out of Miami, it seems like this case was pretty much done. I thought Pooh Shiesty entered a plea and that was it. But let's continue. The lawyers for rapper Pooh Shiesty have submitted a new court filing that claims that ballistic and forensic evidence proves that the artist did not shoot a man in the butt during a 2020 drug deal gone bad. According to the Rolling Stone, the defense called a probation report illogical for recommending a judge honor the prosecutor's proposed 8-year sentence. So they're opposing that 8-year sentence that the judge, I think, agreed on. So let's continue. Now, Brad Cohen, who represents Pooh Shiesty, born Lontrell Williams, filed the claim on Friday, March 11th. The court document further states that since Cohen's client pleaded guilty to a firearms conspiracy charge in January, it is unfair for the report to suggest that he was involved in the October 9th, 2020 robbery/shooting at the Landon Hotel in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida. And that's the big case. That's the one where you see Pooh Shiesty allegedly pull up in the McLaren and you see them speed off after the shooting begins and whatnot, right? So in quotes, it continues to say this. It says, the government wants this court to believe Mr. Williams, with a net worth of $3.4 million, planned a robbery, then committed a robbery, then shot a known drug dealer who knew him well and could easily identify him, Cohen wrote in a filing. All over $100 drug deal for personal use while he was driving a lime green McLaren that he rented from the alleged victim. So he's basically saying that that is the dumbest plan ever, to rob somebody that you're renting the car from to begin with. And then they already know you. They've seen you before. They could easily identify you. And then you shoot them. Like, he's making a decent point. I'm going to be real, man. It doesn't make sense. But what you see on that camera looks pretty wild, and it looks like a shooting did take place. I'm not saying it did for a fact, but that's what it looks like from the camera that I saw, right? Now, it also says in quotes, Mr. Williams possessed over $40,000 in cash and was driving a vehicle valued at $200,000. So he's trying to basically say that Pooh Shiesty is just too rich to be involved in all this. Like, he got too much money to be robbing these dudes for, some sneaks and some drugs for personal use, while driving a lime green McLaren and it being broad daylight, Horrible plan. He's saying this is just a dumb plan, and who would do that? You know what I mean? But I'm thinking maybe, there's a possibility that, Pooh Shiesty and him could have jumped the gun and thought they was being robbed. That's a possibility, too. You didn't think of that? Pooh Shiesty and them's side, not saying that they did. They probably could have just said, hold up, something doesn't look right, and went to, better to be right than wrong in them situations. You feel me? Now, the story continues by saying this. The attorney continued to argue it would be illogical for Mr. Williams to stage a robbery by two other individuals or something so minuscule as a bottle of liquid, with a retail value of $100 at most, when any damage done to the McLaren in the process would have cost him thousands of dollars to repair. His lawyer's arguing a good point, man, but you still got the video out there and you got a lot of other things. And I don't know what Pooh Shiesty did. I can't even say that I seen Pooh Shiesty shoot anybody or anything like that, but he also said this. He said, we will provide both ballistic and forensic evidence that Mr. Williams did not fire a weapon and did not strike anyone during the Bay Harbor incident, Cohen stated. Now, if they can prove that he didn't have any DNA or that he didn't have any handling of any weapon in this case, then, they really got a case. Now, Cohen maintains that the probation pre-sentencing report stated that Back in Blood rapper should be punished more harshly than the offense he pleaded guilty to would call for it. Instead of suggesting 7 to 9 years, he believes his client should get 37 to 46 months. Now, let me break that down. He's basically saying, forget that 7 to 9 years that I think he already pled to, right? He should really be getting 37 to 46 months. Now, let's think about this. Pooh Shiesty has already been locked up for what? A little over a year, you know what I'm saying? Or even close to a year, I would say. 37 to 46 months wouldn't look too bad, you know what I'm saying, if you've already done about a year. So I'm with his lawyer. If that works out for them, that would be great for Pooh Shiesty in his rap career. Now, later reports note that Pooh Shiesty is seen on footage at the crime scene in the McLaren with his road manager in the passenger seat. And the surveillance video shows that they were followed by a black Mercedes Maybach. Now, also, you can see Pooh Shiesty receiving the drugs and the sneakers, and the prosecution says that he pulled out a Draco and allegedly shot the victim, right? Now, after all the shooting and stuff, that's when they say that the rapper drove off and dropped a Louis Vuitton bag filled with $40,000 worth of cash, man. Now, those are the bills that they were allegedly able to match to his Instagram, and I don't know how true that is. That was just reported in news stories, right? Now, it ends by saying this. In addition to the video footage, detectives used the money from the bag to link the artist to the crime. The serial number on one of the $100 bills in the bag matched the serial number on a $100 bill he flashed on Instagram a few days before. Now, sentencing for Pooh Shiesty is set for April 20th, so it looks like he'll be getting his sentencing coming up here in another month. But I don't know. Do you think that his lawyer is making a good claim by saying Pooh Shiesty couldn't have did this because he got too much money to be carrying on like this, like to be robbing people and stuff like that? So what you're seeing on that camera isn't what you think it is. And plus, he had a relationship with the dude, so this plan would just be illogical for him to commit. Or do you feel like, since we got that video, it ain't looking good for Pooh Shiesty on that end, but man, him being able to pull through this by only getting 3 to 4 years or maybe just 3 to 2 years would be a blessing in disguise. Because dude, I don't know if he gets extra time for time served or if that counts towards that time, but he could be back on the streets sooner than expected. Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.